Hello everybody, welcome back to Motion RC Live. I'm James alongside Wes over on that side. We are here for our standard regular live show, another month in the books at Motion RC. First Friday of every month, you're going to get Wes, me, customer community tours, wheel spins, and just sort of go over the month that was, see what people have been up to on social media in the hobby, and as usual, converse, chat, and have some fun. And here we are again, a month later. We didn't have a Freewing 70mm Panther to talk about a month ago, but we do now. We didn't have an in-house brand of vehicles, RC cars and trucks, Primus stuff. Those are here, so a month can bring a lot in this hobby. So excited to get talking about it. This week obviously has been dedicated to the Panther itself, and Wesley, since it is yours to fly, you made all the videos on it. We're going to take it over to Wes, and he's going to go through you the brand new Panther in the flesh, man. It looks great.
Well, guys, yeah, the Panther is officially here. It's being received well. I've seen a lot of you guys getting them in over the weekend, and or the week, I should say, not the weekend. But yeah, it's a great flying little airplane, and it's that kind of perfect size to just toss in the back of the car. You don't really have to take it apart to get it to the field, and it's got a ton of horsepower, a lot of fun to fly. Now it's cool seeing some of the 70s starting to get some of the features we've been seeing in some of the larger aircraft lately. You know, this one does have the quick connect wings now, so you just reach in here, hit the two buttons, and you can pop the wing off, as you can see right here. It just pops off, and then you line it up, push it on and click it. So it's really cool to see that making it into these smaller aircraft now. The cool thing too about if you have the outer wing panels off is that you can actually leave it on its gear and it will set there without having to take and put the wings on. You know, the assembly of this aircraft is super straightforward too. It comes out of the box almost put together. You just put the tail on basically and screw the outer wing panels on and put your magnetic nose cone on. So this does have the magnetic nose cone, hi-ya, as you guys like. And that just pops on and off. Fully suspension retracts. So, you know, you have actual suspension, aluminum retracts right out of the box. We can fire it up here in just a second and check that out. But yeah, the Panther is such a good flying airplane. You know, anybody that's had the smaller 64mm know that is a lot of guys' favorite in the 64mm line because it's such a locked-in airplane. So a little bit bigger one now with retracts is just a win-win-win everywhere. So it's a lot of fun. So let's fire it up for a second and maybe give you guys a shot of the retracts going up and down. Let me kick on the radio and we'll take a peek at this. Now, you know, in the smaller format, of course, they don't have the lights on the 70s that you expect from the 80s and stuff, but that's okay. It keeps the price down too. So this is, you know, an inexpensive aircraft for guys that are maybe getting into jets. This one fits really well with like the T33. If you're enjoying that airplane, this would be another great airplane to move to, have a lot of fun with and similar characteristics. So let's see here. Let me flip that over. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit, Lori. There we go. That's good, just so they can see those retracts. Let me grab the radio here and give it a flip. There you go. There's the retracts up and down. No doors on the 70s. Let me see. Flip it like this again. We'll get another shot. Nice in and out quick. While we're upside down too, you can also see there's CG marks right there on the wing. Now, being this is not a delta wing aircraft, I will tell you guys, be careful about trying to push your CG back. You know, you see that in a lot of guys' review videos and things on the internet where they're like, push the CG back, push the CG back. Being this is a straight wing aircraft, as you push the CG back, if you get it too far back, the stall gets really crazy and it starts to get pitch sensitive, especially if you're not running a gyro. I will say the CG marks on the wing are extremely comfortable. And the other fun thing with the Panther is the large battery bay on this aircraft. So I think the first video we put out, I was flying this on the 4000, but I am flying this a lot on the 5000 also. So for you guys that fly mainly 5000 packs, they fit in here no issue inside this battery bay. And let me lift it up for a second and show you. I actually have a 5000 in it right now. So you can see there's plenty of room in this battery bay to shift it back. Now, one of the things I did do, and I go over this in the product video of this aircraft, there's this little black box here that comes mounted to this board. It just unsticks, and I moved it back to the back of the battery bay, and that gave me more room to shift that larger pack. I wouldn't recommend going anything bigger than the 5,000, just because of weight overall. But yeah, with that moved out of the way, it gives you that room to slide that pack back a little bit. And there is a second strap location. I have it in the factory location here up in the front. But if you're going to fly larger packs, I definitely recommend just moving the strap back to that second location. And that way you've got room for it. Plenty of room for the receiver and your RX gear too. I have the Lemon 7-channel receiver right here. And then I ran my satellite antenna under the battery bay up to the front, and I have another receiver here with my leads up in the nose, one going across and one going straight down. Same thing back here. I have one lead going straight across the battery hatch here and one going straight down, because you always want that 90-degree separation when you do it. Yeah, anyway, super cool airplane. I'm really happy to see this one make it to the site. The ordnance package on it is also included right out of the box. So you get the 6 missiles on the bottom. These guys, hard to do this while holding it upside down and weird, but they just pop off, you know, just like all of our other standard ordnance package. So if you want to fly it clean, you can pop them off. If you want them on, they just key on like that, really easy. While I have it upside down again for a good look, there's those wing connectors. Like I said, you just push them and pull out. And that's the quick connect where they snap in and out, just like that. Really cool. You have the one cheater hole right on the bottom for the fan, but the top of the model is kept clean. It's hard to get away with not having a cheater on this type of aircraft because you only have this small inlet on the front for getting that air in, so that's why that's in there. But yeah, flaps, retracts, all the standard good stuff that you want in your 70mm aircraft. And the Panther's still a pretty good size airplane, even for a 70. So really happy to see it make it to the site, guys. I hope y'all are enjoying it. And if you haven't checked one out yet, definitely go over motionrc.com and check it out. There you go. It is available now. They are not on pre-order. It was one of those things when we released this. They are in stock right now. You can purchase it today if you want one and get it. And our EU customers, they are still on pre-order for the EU. They're coming soon. We have the updated date on there. I believe it is November 11th currently for our EU customers. Yeah, 10 days out. So just running a little bit behind. But as soon as those come in, you guys over there will be getting these also. It's going to be a lot of fun. So been really cool having this and the 70mm F-22.
I think this is I think this is great for beginners too. You know, obviously whenever we talk about beginning in flying with EDFs, we're going from the you know, the point that you know how to fly at this point. You've flown a trainer prop plane, you can orientate, you can take off, you can land, and you're looking for, you know, your chance to get into EDF jets. I would choose a 70 with landing gear for a jet before I'd ever take a, you know, toss and boss 64. Those can be a bit squirrely. Just the act of, you know, hand launching an EDF jet is different than hand launching a prop plane. You know, it's something you could fail on once and not get to fly the rest of the time. So something with gear, you know, especially if you're already flying at a field. In this price range with the straight wing, if you want scale, if you're not looking for sport, you know, like the Vulcan would be or something like that, this looks like the way to go, because I'd recommend, you know, for people that didn't want an 80mm Avanti, when the L39 came out, that was you know, a scale-looking Avanti, good for, you know, an initial jet. And then the T33, I think, almost bested that, even more stable with that nice, longer straight wing. I think the Panther's right there, I think, and now you get a 70. Yeah, it's a great place to start from. I see a question here, Kevin Ryan. We fly off well-manicured lawn. I hate grass questions, but as well as one with taller grass. How do you think this would fly off taller grass? Having not flown it, but I don't think you want to fly any plane off taller grass, especially not a 70 with small wheels like this. You know?
Right.
R80s are more designed with grass in mind. You know, they have bigger, chunkier landing gear. than a 70. 70s weren't really designed, again, not for grass, but it really comes down to you got to know your grass field. You
Right.
know, if
It's
it's
not
kept
just
proper,
the grass. It also has to do with how bumpy your runway is. You know,
Yeah.
you can have a really nicely mowed grass field, but it's got big potholes and divots all in it, and that's going to tear up gear too. So it's a hard thing to answer about grass because every grass field is a little bit different. You know, when I go up to Imperial, they have a nice smooth area there. I can fly pretty much anything out of that one. Whereas if I go down to our other club here in town, that looks really nice, but the field is like this. And so the planes just bounce all over the place, and it's known to rip gear out there. So it's more of what is your field like. If it's nice, they're going to fly fine off of it. If it's not, you need a bigger wheel, like he said. So anyway, yeah.
It's one of those things that's really hard to, you know, people always, why are you flying off grass? Well, because my grass is different than your grass. It might be. You know, I can't sit there and ever say that, oh, just because it took off this grass runway, it's going to take off, you know, yours. You know, you never know. You never know. But this is something, I mean, you could probably pick it up and hand launch it if you wanted to. I mean,
100%.
you'd probably just toss this thing if you had to as well.
100%.
But this is awesome. Richie Rich, this does have a reverse thrust ESC as well. So when you land, flip the switch and it will reverse thrust to slow you down, which is nice. Another great feature that I think is just becoming stock now with every Freewing jet at this point. It looks like they have the reverse thrust ESCs in every size. So that's something we probably don't even have to showcase at some point, but yeah. Can I see the, sorry. Alex was hiding the chat. We're looking through the chat. Yeah, greener shade, great size jet. Definitely a great size. Panther also. It's nice to have this along with the Cougar too, you know, because we come out with the Cougar. The Panther was one. Would I've liked to have seen it in? I remember talking about the Cougar with the production team when it came out. Like, how cool would it have been if they could have just made a set of wings that made it look like the Panther, but they're not that similar, even though they're very similar. They are two completely different molded tail sections and the fuse and everything, even though they look really close, but that would have been cool. But it's nice to have the straight wing option with some retracts. So it's great. It's been a great month for 70mm fans between this and the F-22, you know, almost back to back. Awesome. Two really good flying, different flying style jets in the same size, same price range. So, you know, pick your flavor, an old school one or a modern day jet. They're all awesome. So I think people are really going to enjoy, especially in the U when you start getting yours. I personally, I like the color scheme. You know, they're pretty simple when it comes to colors on the Panther. They're all pretty much mostly navy blue or some gray ones, but I do dig that one. Is that the same scheme they put on? No. I have
it's a little
64
different, yeah.
up here because they changed the 64 from the old 64 was navy blue with like a red stripe, the yellow tail. It was a little out there, so that's all right. It's very close enough. This is the 64 mil that I had on my set.
There you go.
But yeah, pretty similar. I'm sure they looked at that scheme when they went
with
with
the size difference.
When they went with that. Well, our cameras are completely different.
Well,
we're
here,
about
I'll
the
move
same
back.
height. Yeah, we're about the same height. There we go.
Inception.
But it's awesome. It's nice to have multiple options, and who knows? Maybe one day, you know, a big 90mm, either Panther or Cougar, would possibly come. That'll be great. Richie Rich, occasionally. It's rare. It's rare that we do any sort of discount coupons. You know, we tend to keep our prices as, you know, low as we possibly can. You know, and we swear on that.
$100 off by watching the show.
Yeah, you might be able to spin the wheel though, and you might get a discount gift card at some point during the show. But we'll get there when we get there. So any other questions, guys, regarding the Panther while we got it here? Because this has been Happy Panther Week. We're excited. Wes, you had this actually longer than the F-22, right? Didn't you get this first?
I got them both on the same day.
We assumed that this one was going to get announced and released by Freewing first, but then they decided to go with the 22. So we sort of had to shelf this.
They kind of flipped.
And then, you know, and then finally it was time to announce this. So that was exciting.
Yeah, it was fun, especially getting both of them the same day. It was like Christmas for me. I was like, ah, yeah, new planes, you know me. So I love getting to see them. You know, I'm thankful every day that this is what I get to do because, you know, guys, I love RC just as much as y'all do. So it's always fun whenever I get to play with one of these new models. And like I said, it's been really fun kind of watching everybody getting them now. I'm excited to start seeing them at my local field as guys start to get these and start flying them because I know they're going to be a lot of fun. And it'll be fun to fly with some of y'all at some of the events coming up. So anyway, we're getting into event season here in Florida.
I can't believe
so it's going to be a lot of fun.
Already. We got
this is when it's nice. It's not a billion degrees outside.
Now that Halloween's over yesterday, I hope everybody had a happy Halloween yesterday. But now, like, all the memes start coming that they're defrosting Mariah Carey, getting ready for the Christmas music about to start happening all over the place. But this is awesome. I think you guys have the best prices. Thank you. Is the nose all part of the fuse or magnetic? Bill, yep, the nose is magnetic, as most are, so you could take that off if you want to store it on its nose, you know, things like that. Keep it from getting bumped. Yeah, they did a great job with the, you know, simple features, you know, the same stuff you'd expect on a 70, but with some of the newer stuff that's been coming on a lot of the bigger, you know, the newer, bigger models. So it's definitely a good time. Yeah, new plane day is always a good day. We get excited when finally we got the word, all right, Tuesday's go time. We found out, I think Friday, that we were going to announce that on Tuesday. So then Monday we went dark as far as video goes, and then, you know, with Freewing being overseas, they want to be up and awake and, you know, at the office when they make an aircraft live too. So I think Monday night is when we put it live on the site and put out that first video, and then just, you know, let this whole week to it because a new Freewing plane's always an exciting day. We're exciting out there. Yeah. It's always better too when they're in the warehouse. That's always such a, you know, like, I hate doing pre-orders too. Sometimes we have to, but, you know, it's great when it's just there. People like didn't expect it. You know, there were no leaks, I think. I don't think this one leaked like some of the other ones leaked. So it was a good all-around week for us. We're excited about it. And then to have it line up with our standard live show is a good time. But so now I'm looking. Bill, looks amazing. Hard to tell in the video. Plastic covered like the F-22, right? It has plastic. Does it have any plastic leading edges anywhere that will help?
So not as far as on the wing goes. Now you have plastic here on top of the wings as far as where their mating surfaces are. So where the wings slide on and off, this is all plastic through here. You have the plastic cladding on the nose all around in here. Of course, your canopy's plastic. There are plastic receiving points here where the tail is going to install. But as far as, like you said, your leading edges, no. And your outer panels on the bottom of these, you know, a lot of guys, when they're landing, you can, you know, land and scrape a wing tip. So they thought of that on this airplane. So you do have plastic here on the bottom of the, what do you call these? The fuel tanks. These are the fuel pods out here on the wings. These are plastic out here because they know, you know, guys are going to scrape these when they're landing, sometimes on a not as great landing. So that part is plastic. But yeah, that's the main.
They know there's bad pilots out there? What?
What?
What are you saying? What?
I'm known to do it too. I tell you, I have a kind of fun story with this airplane. So
that's when you say you know that there's crosswinds happening. Just blame the wind. Right. It's always the wind.
That's right. But I had kind of a funny thing happen with the Panther. So we went out to fly the B-25, I guess or B-24 that I had just finished about 2 weeks ago. And I thought, I'll take the Panther out. Maybe we'll get a little extra content for it. And that day it rained, and I accidentally left my radio on the table, and the rain got in my radio. And I was like, oh, no. Well, we went to fly the Panther, and
Oh, did we just lose Wes? Nope.
I think I'm still here.
Your internet's still being sketch. Your internet was being a little sketch.
All right. We just had a huge hurricane through here. Anyway, sorry. But anyway, the radio got wet. I flew the Panther once. Everything was good. I took off again, and I only had right aileron. My gimbal had died in the radio. So I can tell you, you can actually fly this airplane with nothing but rudder and elevator, because I had to land it that way. And it was an exciting ride, but it was a lot of fun. Little story on this airplane though, behind the scenes. So
the two-channel or
it was kind of fun.
gliders.
That was the first time I've ever landed a EDF jet only using rudder and elevator. So that was kind of fun. Try it sometime.
Oh yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah, we got down on the ground and I was like, I think I need to change pants. That was exciting.
Gregory Miskinnis, any chance of introducing an unnamed version to allow simpler markings changes? Unfortunately with this one, no. Most of the aircraft nowadays, we used to do that. We worked with Freewing to release a painted bird and then a plain gray or a plain blue, whatever base color, so people can do it. And overwhelmingly, the plain models were always outsold in droves by the ones that come and that come with these schemes included. So there's only one plane in the history of Freewing that unmarked version outsold the marked version. That's the Al37. And that's because the Al37 took on its own life of customizers. Everybody who buys that, because there's like an infinite amount of color schemes and patterns and fantasy patterns you could do on an airliner. But every single one we did, I mean, we used to do them in everything. The F-18 had a gray one. We had so many models that came with a base gray. And you just got to think, because they've got to paint all those spare parts that base gray. They've got so now you're getting two sets, two SKUs of everything's doubled just to have a second scheme. And turns out it didn't make sense. So, you know, your best bet with this, if you want a Panther, paint it up.
I do want to add a little to that. We do have some things we've done a little differently on that to help the customizers, like the B-25. It'll come with the base markings now out of the kit, but you can still change your nose art that way. So we've done that in several kits, and I know that's something we want to continue going forward on. But on the smaller airplanes, that just doesn't make sense. But on our larger ones, we know our customers like to modify them, and that's one way we can do that. So you'll still get a box standard set where it's going to come with your, you know, the American stars on the wings, the nose steps and stuff applied. But there's some of our kits like that, and the B-25 is a good one to think about. But yeah, on the smaller aircraft, that's not really feasible.
Mountain RC, does it have the same power system as the 70 F-22? Yes, it does, I believe, right? The 2210 in-runner motor. Yeah,
same one.
That's the
I have one laying here somewhere.
That's the new standard for the 70 mil in-runner systems. Has that. How hard would it be to convert a prop plane to ducted? It depends on the plane, Bobby.
Yeah.
Depends on the plane, but probably a lot of work. Who was someone that just did? What did they do?
We did it back in the day.
Yeah, we did it to something, but somebody did it with the Tiger Cat. They took the props out and put two EDF fans and turned the Tiger Cat into basically an ME-262. And that actually worked well. I mean, that sort of made sense. I don't know about a Corsair. Of course, I guess it would technically be like an F-86, right? I mean, you got to bore out the middle and just figure out a better place for the battery and the pilot. But yeah, let's not do that to a Corsair. It could be cool though. But all right, let's continue forward. We'll save some. We can always come back to the Panther guys. Hey, I pronounced his name right. I'll never do it again, so I'm not even gonna say it again, Gregory. But there you are. I got it right. I have an awkward last name too, so I try my best to pronounce the fellow awkward ones. But let's move on to customer community. So these are just some of the pictures and such shared throughout the month on our YouTube, our ever-growing YouTube community group. And we're starting with Anton Brunner. He was out there with some tank weathering, detailed. Love the logs on this one. Which tanks? Is this T-34? What am I forgetting? I'm forgetting off the top of my head which one this is. I'm looking at, I think it is the T-34, right? That's the Russian. Yeah, I believe it's the Russian. I'm looking over at my T-34 now. Yeah, that's it. But absolutely awesome. Wes is working on his customized tank. He's going to get back to it because because I don't know if you guys noticed. Are they live on the site now? A lot of those paints, Wes.
Which ones?
A lot of the paints that you're using now. Yeah,
oh, the
Tamiya's
Tamiya
have been
paints.
there.
Sorry, I was thinking about a tank. Sorry, yeah. Yes, the Tamiya paint. We have the full line of the XF flat series available now on the website. And it's been really well received. So we're going to bring in some more of that, get some of the putties and things for guys to do modeling with on there also.
Awesome. Yeah, because you were doing that series, and then you were using some other paints, and then we were like, we have a lot of the paints. So then Wes has gotten to talking with the product managers, and they want to bring in all sorts of new paints. Now Wes is helping build out Wes is building out the modeling portion of motionrc.com.
It's awesome.
Static modeling portion with all the paints. I mean, there's Freewing paints on there. They got a lot of stuff. But I was just tying that to, love when guys get out there and customize, and tanks are some good bases to do it. Good starting points to get into. They represent
definitely.
almost the best in scale, static and, RC combined. But moving on, we got Adam Hill with his 800 Roban Airwolf. Love seeing that.
Beautiful.
We've got to see a few of these in person over the years. They always look great out in front. And he had some beautiful pictures here also.
One day, I need a big one. One day.
They have Tamiya spray cans, like spray paint. Tamiya spray paint.
They sure do. We're looking into it. Can't confirm yet if we're going to get that or not.
I wonder how that goes with the propellant and shipping and storage. And I don't know how that works.
That's our only hard part we've got to figure out.
I bet that's probably in its own thing. Oh, and then we had Jerry. He customized his own Cougar. Actually, looks like a Panther, and he didn't want to show us his messy house, so he photoshopped himself in some prime locations with his plane.
He's at the World Series.
I guess he's a Dodgers fan, wearing a Bucks hat, holding a Navy plane. I don't get it. None of this makes sense. But that was really funny. He had a couple good photoshops out there. But can't wait to see that plane. I'm sure Wes will get out and film it at some point. He'll see it in person. But it looks really good. It looks like a Panther, actually, in that scheme. Looks more Panther-ish, if you will. Then moving on to Tom Coco, he put together the Nexa T6. That's one I would love to see at some point in person. Beautiful black and white trim on that. Really nice. So hope he has some good maiden news for us through the community when he gets there. Then we got Simon Briefly. I love this shot. He just put the black and white filter on a nice crisp shot of a Spitfire, and you can't tell if it's real or fake. You can't tell what year it is. That looked really awesome.
The Spitfire is always just such a photogenic aircraft, and it looks so good in all these pictures always.
You share Spitfire on the group chat, you're getting on the show. That's just sort of how it goes. I see a Spitfire, I share the Spitfire. Love it. Then we got Rayvon, another customizer extraordinaire. He's always out there doing the wildest detailed work on a lot of the Freewing aircraft. I'm sure other ones, but right here, just some beautiful work. And I didn't even actually put in some of the pictures of the detail because he's been on the show so much when he shares these. But if you look in, he has some zoomed in shots, and just the weathering up close on all this. Like, there's not a corner of each jet, of each project he does left unturned, unaltered in some way. He does a really, really excellent job. And Mountain RC, I think I saw him in the chat out there, 2 customized 70mm F-22s. So if you're not interested in the 70mm Panther, the F-20, are they in stock now? They went out, right? Yeah, obviously, because they got them, so you can just grab them right now. So
yeah, they're in stock.
One of those as well. Can't beat that. Look like a good day. I haven't flown either one of these 70s yet, but the F-22 would be. I definitely want to fly that because I love flying the 90.
The F-22 is definitely one of my favorites.
They're just so floaty, No, it's all good. they float so well. They're really fun. Michael Rosnick out there with a T33. Actually looks like the T33 that was on display at where were we, in Tennessee, at that field, at George's field. Alex, Tired Iron. Remember we went to like his field? They had like a scale T33 just on a stick, on a pole, out in front, like, you know. Looks sort of like, but really nice, clean paint job by Michael. Michael does a lot of heli stuff, but he'll get out there with his planes at times. Do that. Then we got Lucio Meng, MNG. I'll just say Meng, with a Ryanair AL37. Heard it's the bumpiest ride on the on the plane. You want your AL37 to fly worse? Put a Ryanair scheme on it, maybe. From what I hear, we got Spirit Airlines, but you know that's our equivalent. I think we flew Ryanair once when I was in Europe. I think I had to take a hopper, and that was like, you know, that was the one you want to avoid if you can. That's what I'm told.
That's what I'm told.
And we got Joe Malesko just out there with his orange Zeus and some nighttime shots, just showing you, you know, depends on obviously how the ISO on his camera was, but it looks good for some dusk flying with all those lights on it. Like right there, like you definitely see that coming and going. Out in front, the thing is full of lights. What's up, Philip? Welcome into the show. Is that an Elvis emoji, a guitar emoji, and a plane emoji? So we're rocking and rolling. I like it. Jim Thatcher, just a pair of Tomcats out on the field. I think these are the twin 64s. Hard to tell though, but either way, good looking shot. Then from behind, classic Top Gun music in your head while you see that. I don't know how it's not. Oh, and this was a cool Carlos Folch Ramirez. He had two different customizations. One was his T33 in like Canadian Air Force, Canadian scheme. And then he did an L39. I don't know if you see this one, but he did an L39 as a Blue Angels. I thought that was a kind of a cool look. Sacrilege, but cool nonetheless. It fits the scheme for sure. Did Wes mute us? I think Wes might be muted because I no longer hear him. Yeah. There he is. He's coming.
I just muted in the background while you're talking.
Gotcha.
You're good.
Yeah, I think that about wraps up the customer community, touring the community. That was some of the best stuff we saw across the Facebook community in the last month or so. So definitely post them up. That community's always growing. There's always some cool customizers out there doing some great stuff, and I'm excited to see what people do with the Panther. I'm sure there'll be some really good schemes. We've definitely seen some good 64 schemes back in the day, but people don't tend to go as hard on the smaller models as they do on the bigger models. But Alex is prepping the camera here because it is going to be time to spin the wheel. I think while we were doing that, he preemptively chose our winner. In order to be included in there, you just have to, you know, have left a comment in the show, be live watching the show in order to get the call. And there's my hand. We're on camera here. I'm moving the wheel back and forth so you know it's live. And do we have our winner, Alex?
Floyd.
Floyd?
Floyd Stanford.
Floyd Stanford,
the
fourth?
The fifth?
Fourth. Floyd Standler? I believe, I forget. You got to scroll up. I saw him in the chat. I think he's here. Floyd, if you are there in the chat, let us know because you're going to be our winner. Standifer. Floyd Standifer, the fourth. So, Floyd, come on down if you're there. Comment in the chat. There he is. He's there.
Let's go, Floyd.
And
big money.
I just yelled really loud. Now remember, Floyd, if you haven't watched the show, there it is on the screen. Once your prize is awarded, which will be in a gift card form, just shoot me an email to that. We'll show it again here to contest@motionrc.com at some point today, and I'll try to get the gift card. Again, it'll get emailed to you as a code. You know, you just put the code in to check out anytime. I don't think it ever expires, so we'll just we can email you that either the end of today or Monday at the latest. Depends on what's going on at the warehouse today. But we are ready to roll. So Floyd, I'm gearing up the wheel for you. Remember, hundreds are your max. There's 2 places. You can win a $100 gift card. There's 2 spin agains on the blues, and then everything else is 25 or 50, and the handwriting is awful. But are we ready? Here we go. We're spinning in 3, 2, 1. Big money, big money, big money, big money, big money, big money. No whammy, no whammy, no whammy, no whammy. Speaking of no whammy, I watched something the other night. You got to check it out, Allie. We'll talk about pressure luck in a little. Oh, give me a spin again. Oh, no. 25. I wanted the spin again. Spin agains are really funny. Should we spin it again? You want to press? Should we press the luck? I'll spin it again.
Let him decide.
Let's spin it again for him. Floyd, you want to press your luck? You want me to spin it again? You can't do any worse than 25, I guess. But I'm feeling like that.
Do it again, Floyd, or keep it.
Let's spin it again. Spin it again. Here we go. I'm calling this spin again. I'm in the mood to spin the wheel again. We're going one more time.
Ready? 3.
Let's
Never
go,
know
Floyd.
what you're going to get.
Let's go, Floyd. 3, 2, 1. That's a big spin. Those bearings are loose. Come on. Come on.
Big money, big money.
Big money, big money, big money, big money, big money.
Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Spin again, spin again,
Almost
spin
knocked
again.
an airplane off the table.
Oh!
All right, it was fate.
It was close. You were fated to $25, Floyd. But hey, $25 is yours, sir. Congratulations. Just shoot me an email. Preferably shoot me an email from the same email you have your Motion RC account, because that's how we're going to email you right back with the code. So do that at some point today to claim the prize. And as always, guys, check it out. Whatever, first week of December, we'll spin the wheel again. And then we're getting close to our New Year's show. I would love for that New Year's show to also be a 100,000 subscriber show at the same time. That would be awesome. We are getting so close. I mean, while we're talking, we might have passed 94,000.
We did.
We were really close, so we just passed 94, so we're 6,000 away. Not that far at all. So if we can get to that, that would be absolutely awesome. Oh, but I watched something. So back to anybody ever watch the show Press Your Luck with the whammies and the stop? Apparently there was a guy. There's 2 episodes. They had to film it for 2 episodes. There was a guy, he was like unemployed. He sat there and watched that show every day. And he was always like looking for schemes. He basically figured out the 5 patterns of how the lights went on that show. Memorized them, all the patterns, got on the show, won a bunch of spins. He, like, something, I think the max prize you could win on a spin was like 5,000 plus another spin. He went for 2 days straight. He had over $110,000. He like didn't miss. He hit like 17 times in a row, you know. And at one point, people were passing him because I guess you could pass your spins back and forth, you know, hoping they would hit a whammy or whatever. And this guy basically gamed the system. And at some point, he was so good at it that he was like, he almost wanted to lose because he knew he would get caught. But he ended up keeping the money for a long time before he ever got caught, like 20 years later. They knew he was doing something, but they couldn't tell. But I guess there were 2 spots on that initial board that one of those whammy guys never came up, and he just knew the light pattern and when it would land there and how to push the button. It was crazy, but there was a whole document. I don't know how that stumbled across my algorithm the other night, but I'm like, oh, I'll watch this. I miss Pressure Luck.
You never know what you're going to get on YouTube.
Do you remember that show? Do you remember Pressure Luck? Like, it was fun. One of those fun games.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That was awesome. But actually, Wes, before we get into, because I put Primus vehicles on the side, I wanted to talk a little bit about some of the new things you have behind you, if we could, right? Because you to move the Panther to the side, you know, while all this fun Freewing stuff is going on, and while we're waiting on him to fly the big Nexa B24, which is coming, you know, in the background, Wes has been prepping 2 other Nexa models that he's hoping to get out in maiden soon. So what was the first one?
Papa's been busy
the
this
Mach-E,
week.
right?
Yeah, this is the Mach-E. Papa's been actually building these. He's actually sitting just off the side right now. He's been working real hard on these this week. But yeah, the Mach-E is really close. This is a very unique aircraft. It's a Italian fighter, which is not a model that is modeled very often in the RC world. He said it's been a pretty easy kit to do, though. Not a lot of really big challenges. Most of these smaller Nexa aircraft are pretty simple to put together. You know, just set your mind to it and take care of it. I mean, the kit's basically built for you. It's just a little bit of assembling here and there. The Mach-E does have the same battery hatch as a lot of the other Nexa models, where it is magnetic right up here on the front, and you have the tray in here. Going to be doing this one on a 5000 or 4006S. Haven't actually fitted it in there just yet. That is the next portion. He got done putting the plane together, and he always hands me the electronics. So I've got our 85 amp ESC, our prop. I'm going to be putting our new radio system in there. So I've got our new Radio Master. There we go. Radio system for it. I'm going to be putting that in here. We've got the GP10 on the front of this aircraft and on the other one. They're both the same size. Really works well. Oh, here we go. Spinner's actually not even installed right now, so I can show you. There's the it's stuck. I was going to pull this off and show you the 10 actually, but it's pretty stuck right now.
Don't mess it up.
There it goes.
There you go.
There you go. So there's the GP10 up on the front. Didn't want to break it, but there we go. It just sticks. So we got to put the screws in there, but there's the GP10.
This is the Nexa Mach-E.
Yeah.
Just see someone in the comments.
205, I think is what it's called.
C8.
Very unique aircraft.
I'm doing a quick search now because the MC205 Veltro. It's 60 inches, 62-inch wingspan. So what I like about a lot of these Nexa Warbirds, because this reminds me very much, I did the P40, built the Hellcat, I believe. Like, for anyone out there, you know, waiting like me for that Flightline single-engine Warbird that's never coming, you know, to go with the Spitfire and the Corsair. I think this lineup of the balsa, like this is the right size, the right price range. And they've got a lot of single-engine fighters, especially in, you know, styles like this that you're probably never going to see in a big foamy, you know. I don't think it would be popular enough to ever sell, but the fact that you could still get kits like this that are right in that span, and you could basically drag and drop the Corsair motor in there, right? You could probably just put the Flightline system in there if you didn't want to go with the Admiral system or something, you know.
Mm-hmm. I've used, let's see, on the Hellcat from the Nexa line, we used the Tiger Cat motor on that one. Now, that was a little bit low on the power side, but I wanted that scale prop. But it flies the airplane beautifully, just as long as you are understanding that it's not going to just do crazy vertical performance. It's still fluid fine. Same thing like the Nexa B24 here. That is 2 of the Tiger Cat power systems powering that airplane now. So I could run the scale props, counter rotating, and everything on that. Now, the Mach-E has a spinner on it, and you got to kind of play around with the spinner idea if you're going to try and reuse one. That's why we went with the GP10 on there. But yeah, I've done several models with Flightline engines in them now. The other cool thing on the Mach-E, it actually has the flaps. I forget what they're called. Somebody's going to murder me in the comments for doing it wrong. But where they actually hinge out instead of just being a flap. You see how that's actually hinged out of there? Just like the Spitfire and some of those. It actually goes into the wing and separates out like that. Pretty neat.
Is that just split flaps?
Split flaps, maybe? I don't know. I get them wrong every once in a while, and then they kill
me
in the
comments. I feel like I know it, and then you say you don't know it, and then all of a sudden I question my belief in knowing it, and I'm like, now I'm not sure if I got it right. But
yeah, anyway.
Yeah.
But you can see that style right there.
I was overthinking it.
You're saying split flaps.
Split flaps, there you go.
Just split flaps. I'm sitting there like,
Split,
what is that?
Fowler. There's all the different types of flaps, and sometimes I get them confused. But yeah, there you go, split flaps.
But
So they
just
come
real
right
quick,
out of the
like,
wing.
for guys looking for single-engine warbirds that are going to be similar to this, I mean, I'm just looking through right now. We got a P39, we got a P47, we got a BF108, we got the A24 Banshee. You know, now there's a couple different T28s. They're all in that 60 to 65 range. Hellcat, T34C, the P40
And I tell you what,
Warhawk. I mean, they're just all
the
very
pictures
similar.
really don't do this one justice either.
Oh yeah, the Voodoo.
The Voodoo, I mean, I tell you what, the pictures on the website don't do it justice. The color of this airplane is beautiful when you have it actually in front of you under the light. There's so many good models in this line that just don't exist anywhere else either. Like you're saying.
I remember when we got those two in, we sent you the red one, the Dago, and I remember being mad because I'm like, it's not as cool looking as the Voodoo though. Like the Voodoo just looks really sick. So I'm glad to finally get you that one too. So you gotta put the red one in Jerry's hands, and you gotta race them together.
Oh yeah, Papa's already calling it. I think Papa's going to take one for our flight. So yeah, this one, same thing. This is just set on here right now, but this one's also running, excuse me, the GP10 on the front of it. Same setup that we used on the Dago, 85 amp ESC, GP10, 6S powered. Really good flying airplanes when you put those motors and prop setups in there. This is the 13.8, available right here on motionrc.com. Also, fits right into the stock spinner, all perfect right out of the box on that. This is some of the patch material. If you've never done them, Nexa aircraft, they always come with this too. These are big sheets of sticky material that are the same color as the airplane. So if you do knock a hole in them, you can just stick this over it. The wing is right here behind me. I tell you what, the paint job on this airplane is just striking. After seeing the two of them together, man, I love the Voodoo. But there you go. There's the bottom of the wing. It's that nice bright yellow, so no problem
Purple,
seeing
yellow,
that.
green. It's so visually interesting.
And then the top, you know, I feel like it's the Joker plane, man.
Totally.
But yeah,
awesome.
Very good looking. These are actually the factory fixed landing gear, and I ended up just cutting those off and using Freewing retracts in here. So those are Freewing retracts on this one. No, I take that back. These are the Nexa retracts with the included wire struts because I just like the way they looked. I like wire landing gear. Some guys don't. These are what we used to fly back in like the 90s, were these wire strut gear, and man, they can take some abuse before you end up breaking them. They kind of just flop around and go right back to where they're supposed to be. But yeah, those are really cool looking.
They look great. It's funny. I'm over here just looking through the entire Nexa collection at all the different single-engine warbirds, and there's so many. I can't believe how big this lineup has got. I'm looking at more. The Hurricane, the Yak 9. We got so many of these awesome. Obviously, those two Mustangs, BF109, Zeros. Like, they're all right in that sweet spot. 60 to 62 inches is just, you know, a good size that isn't too big, and it's definitely not too small.
What they feel like to me is anybody that's had like the 1600 millimeter Spitfire or Corsair, they feel like that. Now, of course, the wingspans are a little bit different than 1600 millimeters, but as far as the actual physical size of the way the airplane feels, that's what they feel like to me, is that scale size. A lot of guys would have called these 60 size back in the day, 40, 60, somewhere right in there. And then I actually have some of these are the actual Nexa retract upgrade sets if you wanted to put those on there versus the wire gear. These are the ones that are available on the Motion site too. And then you have the suspension struts. So a lot of cool stuff going on with these right now. Super excited to fly them. I would like to be flying right now, but the wind here in Florida has been crazy this week. We've been up at like 25-mile-an-hour winds here lately. And that has slowed down some of the flying because that is not fun to fly in. But yeah, these two airplanes are almost done. Like I said, Papa took on these little projects. I think he started on these, sometime last week, and he's got them both pretty much done now. So 10 days. So they're real easy kits to assemble is the fun thing. you know, and he doesn't try and
Yeah,
kill
they're
himself.
they're
working
really
on them
easy
either.
to assemble when your father assembles them for you.
That's true. It has helped a lot. That helps a lot.
They're super easy to assemble, guys, if you have someone else do it. It's really, really
That's right.
awesome.
I've built a few of them, but yeah, Papa doing them helps a lot.
I love it. That's so funny.
So
That's so funny.
anyway,
And then, guys, I was just going to mention, again, you know, Primus is here now. We've got, I believe, 7 models available at the moment. 2 of these luxury, if you will, RC Pro crawlers, 4 versions of the standard, if you will, crawlers, and then with the big Desert King buggy, you know, romping around with more to come for sure. I got my hands on a few of the next ones already. Alex and I are filming those, getting ready to drop some of them soon. So anyone interested in, you know, cars and trucks, we're excited to have our own lineup. And one of the premium features of the Primus, like with all our other in-house brands, we try to keep the parts availability up there. I mean, if you go to the parts pages for these trucks, I mean, there are like a lot of SKUs. You can buy, you know, virtually every single piece on this model. You can buy it as a spare part if you wish with these. So that's just a really great feature and something that, you know, hopefully will start making Primus a competitive option versus some of the bigger brands, you know. You know, that's what we're hoping to make Primus. So it's going to start slow, start small, and then, you know, work way up. But I really like the options they chose. Some of the features, like especially on the standardized one, you know, as far as RC cars, I love this just magnets. Like, just so stupid and simple, but so much better than the C-clips all around. You know, I really dug that. You know, they look good, everything you're getting for the prices on them, and we're looking forward to more. You know, some of the next LT, some of the next line will be a little smaller. You know, we're going to get some, you know, start playing with the scale because these are all 1/10 scale here, and then we got the 1/7 up top. So, Floyd, speaking of Alex, how's he doing after getting smacked by the desert truck? He's alive. He lived. He was lucky though, because you know, of course, you know, I've never hit Alex with anything. We've been filming together years.
Where's Tom Hunt? I
And
saw Tom Hunt.
I saw Tom Hunt was
before.
in here. We used to fly with Tom Hunt when we were on Long Island. Tom Hunt, big
Never
on
hit a
RC
photographer.
groups. And he used to always yell, I never hit a photographer because he would fly the planes super close to both Alex and I when we were filming. So we always say that with Tom, if you're here in spirit, whenever we're out, I'll always say I never hit a photographer whenever I fly close enough. So sure enough, driving the car, I hit that dirt bump and the car just reset its straight position. And I'm not used to that. And that thing, luckily I jammed the brakes and I slid it sideways because just the plastic part hit him. But man, seeing a heavy 60 mile an hour RC car on the dirt, I felt terrible. I felt terrible when I hit him, but he shook off little blood.
Yeah. I texted my wife,
texted
told
his
her I
wife,
got hit by a car.
So,
She immediately called me freaking out.
she immediately calls to hear me laughing in the background like an idiot. But that was really funny. But yeah, that was great. I love that thing though. That thing is such a beast. The Desert King. I'm interested in definitely more big bashers like that. But a lot of these crawlers also very fun. Wes, we'll have to get one of these in your hands as well, especially the pro ones. I love the scale detail on these, from the lights, even just the suspension itself. Just doing this, like, you know, they're really fun getting out there in the bigger size too. It's great to have them out here. I guess we'll move on to the questions. So back to the questions and answers. So guys, Wes still has his Panther with him. He's got some Nexa planes. We got some other things going on. But any questions for us on this November 1st already? Because I can't believe it's already November.
Crazy.
Already November 1st.
like you said, we're unthawing Mariah Carey, getting ready for all the Christmas music to come in.
I saw that meme. It's like her, like in, you know, Block of Ice, like, don't be careful what you wish for. She's thawing out real fast. You're going to hear her all over the place in seconds. I'm sure there's already a Christmas station out there that's rocking and rolling. feel like they always start it so early now. I bet if you went into Walmart, it's probably all Christmas stuff down the Halloween aisle.
That's right.
I'm sure last night they cleared it out. Does the Pro have different motor, ESC, etc.? I believe so. Off the top of my head, I'm not sure. I believe so though. I know it has a bigger ESC. I think it has a 60 amp ESC versus a 40. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. You have to go to the 2 product pages, but I'm sure the Pro is definitely more capable. You know, more weighted, more capable in what it can do, crawling wise, versus the standard ones. But there's a lot of customizations you could do with these too. You know, guys who are into, you know, hardcore crawling. Because one of the things the Pro has that the regular one doesn't, you can lock and unlock the front and the rear diffs independently. So, you know, I never got in a situation where I knew how to use that. Like, I just don't have the rock formations around to, you know, to do that. But someone at a crawler course, you know, would know how to use that better, you know, in certain positions. So, you know, it's cool that you can do it. But so the Pro has a 550 brushed, and then that's the Pro, or no, that's the standard one.
They're both.
They're both, yeah, okay, so same motor, different ESCs. The standard has a 40 amp ESC, capable of both a LiPo and nickel metal, and the Pro has a 60 amp ESC, capable of both LiPo or nickel metal. And then everything was so clean inside. Go back to the, you know, the pages. You could always upgrade these. A lot of these are, you know, a lot of these parts are going to be pretty standardized, I would think, through, you know, lots of other companies and stuff. So you can really, if you like the body and you want to change the inside, or you like the inside and you want to, you know, switch to another 1/10, like, I'm sure a lot of things you could do with these. But these are great starting points in the Pros. I really dig this orange one too. This orange one was awesome. Any other, I see a comment about magnets. Let's see. Oh no, that's Bill. Pro motor is different magnets than standard. Okay, some of them are wire turns on the armature. Okay, so it's saying the Pro motor is going to be more optimized than the standardized one. But that's something might be impossible for me to show you here in front now. Uh-oh, what is he saying? Two 70 millimeter EFs, now a twin 80 or 90 millimeter, or a quad 64 millimeter something with eyeballs. Vic, I don't know what you're talking about, but that would be awesome.
That would be
like
pretty cool.
An AL37, is that what you're getting at on us? Is that what you're getting at? Is the world ready for an AL47? Let's be honest. I don't think so. Next one, we're gonna have a nice 64 millimeter. You know.
Right.
No, you know what the market doesn't have? We need a Mustang. That's what we really need.
Or a sport jet.
Nice P51 Mustang, or a blue sports jet is what the world needs. We need that.
That's a blue one. That's what everybody wants. Yeah.
That'll be awesome. A lot of fun upgrading. Oh, or a C5. Okay. All right. Now you're getting that the one that's Tyler Perry. You just want a foam version of that. That's the Galaxy, right? The C5 Galaxy.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, that's what Tyler Perry's got. Yeah, the C5. That'd be an awesome airplane. Make that. Maybe
if it was quad 64 version. How big is the fuselage? Because if it's gonna be, I guess it wouldn't be comparable scale wise. I mean, I just feel like it would look like such a baby, even in our largest sizes. Like, it would just look awkward. But I guess cool. I feel like it would just, no matter what you did, it would be too small. Like that one, you'd have to, you know, that's when you go HSD and just make a few in the quad 90s like they did with their airliner, and then, you know, you never see it again. But that would probably be the best route to go for something like that. Oh, you don't want another Timber, Mike? We could do a Timber. Not call it a Timber. But all right. Oh, he has the C17 Globemaster. Sorry, the Globemaster. C5 Galaxy would be even bigger. Okay, there you go.
That's right.
That's right. Sorry, he had the 17 Globemaster. My C's. I'm off with my C's. I know my B's better than my C's. A quad 90 is cool, but hard to transport. Oh, yeah. I mean, all of it is hard to transport at some point. All right, guys, it's hitting the 1 o'clock mark on this November 1st live show. So go get yourself a nice, on the cheaper side, 70mm Panther if you wish, or pick up a crawler, or pick up a Nexa balsa aircraft, pick up a big desert truck, or just have some fun doing whatever else you're doing this weekend. That's going to do it, really, for us. Wes, you have any parting words or anything going on in the near future for you?
Nothing too soon. Like I said, just flying a bunch of airplanes here pretty soon, hopefully, and having a lot of fun playing with all these RC products as always.
Yeah, we got to promise next show we should have seen the flight of the B-24.
Yep.
We can get that done
better
this
weather
month.
is all we're waiting on right now.
All right, we're just waiting on the weather because I'm dying to see that baby go up and fly around. I see one more question from Gregory, whose name I will not repronounce correctly. Will we ever see a silver version of the Nexa P38? Probably not. You know, with balsa aircraft, you're working with coverings, and a majority of those aircraft, like you know, are hand assembled to begin with. A lot of them aren't. You know, they aren't produced. They aren't mass produced, where changing a color is an easy thing. So I doubt you're going to see another color. You'd probably just have to paint it or rewrap it yourself if you want to go that route. Or go with a nice flight line one. You can get a silver flight line, and that flies great.
That's true.
You know, if you didn't want the hassle of doing a whole big balsa build or assembly even, because remember, ARFs are 95% of the work is already completed. Even if it feels like a lot of work, assembling an ARF is infinitely easier. You're just adjusting some stuff. You're not actually building anything. So, you know, it's great. But either way, guys, that'll do it for us. Here it is now 1:02. So have yourselves an excellent start to your Novembers. Hope you all had an awesome Halloween. And we will see you back here the first Friday of December. I know Wes might be going live next week. He's going to give it another go because his internet is starting to work better. So he's probably going to do a live painting some tanks, doing some airbrushing. So if you're into that, I think that was going to be a great show that day, but Wes just, the internet failed him. So
it was the day before the hurricane, and it went kind of crazy.
Yeah, anybody who's interested in that, Wes is really good at painting little models and stuff, and all nice little tips and tricks to upgrade any of your RCs, planes, boats, cars, trucks, you name it. Wes can do it. So guys, that'll do it for us. See you next time. Bye.